Alright, Photo Universe. Here we are again. We've got the venerable Pentax MX on the screen. And there's been a little bit of a shake-up in Photo Universe land. And things are getting interesting. They're definitely getting more fun. So we compared and contrasted the Pentax MX to the 5D Mark II. And obviously there was some middle ground there somewhere. And that's one of the things I realized was, you know, the 5D Mark II is a fantastic machine, but there's got to be some middle ground. Because the 5D Mark II is this giant camera. And it's not very spontaneous. It's not a lot of fun to carry around. And there's just something about photographing with a big plastic blob that doesn't inspire you. I mean, enter the Leica M9 or the Leica M6 or Leica M3. I mean, you know, those cameras are there's something about them that just inspires you to photograph. Kind of like the MX. It's small, it's handy, it's solid, and it just doesn't get in the way. 5D Mark II kind of gets in the way. Well, like I said, you know, there's been a bit of a shake-up, and we'll spin the MX on out of here, and we will introduce the latest, most interesting thing I've seen in a while, which is the Pentax k-5, hiding behind the donkey strap. K-5. There it is. And that is sporting the really most excellent Pentax 21mm f3.2 pancake lens, which is about a 35mm lens in full frame, with this very interesting lens hood. Very interesting. Very sharp lens. And there's the K-5, and look how small that is. Let's roll that MX back. Okay, is the K-5 as small as an MX? No. But almost, considering what the K-5 does. I mean, yeah, it's pretty small. Huh. And the K-5 is solid. Very solid. So, for some reason, when I'm photographing with the K-5, I feel like I'm a photographer, as opposed to a computer programmer, which is what I felt like with the 5Ds and the 7Ds and things like that. So where does this fit in? Well, I'd say it's kind of like the 7D, but might be more weather sealed than Canon. There's videos on the web of people pouring water all over these. I don't know, I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't hesitate photographing in the rain. Really fantastic camera. So, look at that. That's about as good as it gets. Look at that readout. You can turn that off. That menu there, instant access. I mean, Pentax has just got this right. And you can turn it off, so go into stealth mode. Got a nice readout on top. I mean, this camera is an absolute pleasure to shoot with. You want exposure compensation? Right there, bang, rear dial. Exposure compensation. 5 stops either way. I mean, that's the way it ought to be. I mean, this, you know, let's talk about. So there, that mode, you set the aperture, you set the ISO, and it'll compensate your f-stop and your shutter speed. That's SV mode. No other camera has that. Well, no other brand has that. Time value, aperture value, TAV. You set the aperture and the shutter speed, and the camera bounces around the ISO. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. There's a lock on that dial. You pay an extra $100 in Canon to get that. I mean, you know, can this camera do everything? No, but this camera is kind of like a bridge camera. It's kind of like a Leica M9 in an SLR. It's hard to describe. I mean, this is a niche camera, but you know what? I'm that niche. this is what I want. I want small, I want professional, I want magnesium body, I want weather sealed, I want an interface that doesn't get in the way, that's absolutely intuitive. This camera has shake reduction built into the body, so every lens you put on it has image stabilization. This camera is just, you know, it's got a PC sync socket for using with your Vivitar 285s. So I could photograph a wedding with this, put it on my bracket, put my 285 up on top of my bracket, and there you go. So I keep mentioning the bracket. That's what I'm talking about. That's a strobo frame, quick flip. Let me zoom out here. Oops, wrong way. There we go. That's a strobo frame, quick flip. Flash goes up here. You can flip it to turn sideways. Camera goes over here. That's one of those old Canon TTL cords that never really worked. I mean, in fairness to Canon, that's an aftermarket one. It's a piece of junk. I mean, I photographed a wedding a month or two ago, and every third shot was blown out because the flash wasn't making connection. No more problems with that. We got our sync outlet there, PC sync cord. You know, so anyway, that's where we're at with that. The K-5, just, you know, it's modern, but it's like retro or something. It's just a pleasure to photograph with. The images are stunning. You've got these beautiful limited lenses. The only way to get better quality lenses than that is to go with Leica, seriously, or maybe some of the old manual focus lenses. I mean, they were all metal, the limited lenses. That was the MX had a limited lens on it. I mean, Pentax is a company that absolutely deserves better play. They absolutely deserve a better reputation. I mean, you know, they've had some missteps. I mean, they're a quirky company. I mean, they're making that fantastic 645D. I mean, you want to talk about spectacular, but you need 10 grand to play the game. But I've seen some spectacular images from that. But as far as a 35mm based system, this is the sweet spot right here, the K-5. This is the finest digital camera I've used. I've used D300s, Nikon D300s, I've used D700s, I've used the 5D Mark II, I've used the 7D. This is the camera that I am just thrilled with. This is exactly what I've wanted in a camera. Small, weather resistant, great set of lenses, won't break the bank. You can pick up this body for $1,300 right now. You know, it's just fantastic. This checks off all the boxes. So one place that I'd recommend to check out some information on this is boxedlight.com. Jim Radcliffe, he kind of turned me on to all this, made me actually seriously consider it, and I'm really thankful he did. Fantastic photographer located out of Texas. Just love his work. Boxedlight.com, Jim Radcliffe. We kind of have the same philosophy on a lot of stuff, like what we're looking for to shoot with and what inspires us. I just love his stuff. Anyway, okay. Well, that's a brief introduction to the K-5 and where we're going in Photo Universe, and sometimes thinking outside the box. And that is definitely thinking outside the box. Pentax K-5. Love it. All right, Photo Universe.